Welcome back to episode 15 of Fatherhood in Focus. In this episode, we're talking strategies and how to better support your partner. You see, this is the stuff I've talked about before. Antenatal classes aren't setting you up for success. They're not getting you ready for the impact that this is going to have on your relationship. You need to recognise that you're going to make plenty of mistakes. My role in all of this is to impart some knowledge to help you better work through this stage and come out the other side stronger. In this episode, we're talking strategies for effective communication and when to tackle some of the challenging conversations around finance, maternity leave, and importantly, her aspirations. We're going to talk about finding that delicate balance, effective time management, supporting her with childcare, and being clear on what she needs. Also, finding time to spend time together so that you are building a stronger foundation. So let's start out with effective communication. That is the key to a successful partnership, especially during this challenging period. And it's important that you're transparent and open about what you are facing. It's not only crucial to your relationship, but it is the linchpin of a harmonious and well-prepared journey. This collaborative approach goes beyond shared responsibilities, and it helps you both navigate this transformative period with confidence, but also togetherness. In the lead up to her return to work, effective communication is going to lay the groundwork for her seamless transition. And this is going to allow you to both articulate your expectations and ensure you both understand the challenges on the horizon. This can help you face her return together, plan ahead, and share any concerns or discuss any potential issues that might impact you as a couple. As her partner, there are a few things that you can do to better support her, and effective communication is a great place to start. Whilst engaging in open and honest conversation is a key component to any relationship, under the pressures of parenthood, it's often the first thing to go out the window. As the pressure builds and the time ebbs away, you often find yourself with little time to pause, little time to take a breather, and importantly, no time to reflect on the stress and strain that you're both under. To improve the way you communicate, it is important to set boundaries and expectations and communicate them honestly. As she navigates the transition from mum to career mum, she will want to feel heard and supported, and your role is to actively listen to her concerns and provide the sounding board for any issues she is facing. It's also important, though, to communicate your own expectations and outline any challenges you are facing. In my experience, and in a busy household with the demands of 2 kids, we barely get a word in before one of the kids has something they want to share. So our lives are filled with half-finished sentences, and these build up over the course of a week, and they can actually result in you both not feeling heard. If you set some time aside to discuss any problems, you must be present and not distracted. Both of you are going to have conflicting views on what is a priority. It's important that you both have a chance to communicate and seek support on any challenges you're facing. As a partner, you will want to be engaged and listen to the problem at hand, and whilst you may have an opinion, or even in certain circumstances feel the matter is pretty trivial in nature, you still need to stand back and you still need to listen. Your natural approach, as is mine, is to problem solve. But if you tune into the solution before fully listening to the problem, you actually fail to appreciate that some small things that over time build up can lead to conflict between you. As working parents, the sheer size of the to-do list can prevent you both from taking a moment to sit down and talk. By scheduling time to talk, you create space for that open discussion, one that allows you both to voice concerns, frustrations, and get a different perspective on the issue that you might collectively or individually be facing. Planning time during the week where you down tools to discuss your needs and goals can promote mutually beneficial problem solving, resulting in a healthier family dynamic. In our relationship, we're collectively stronger together. However, an open and honest conversation can lead to one or both of us feeling like we're not focusing on the solution, but the issue at hand. Let me take you back to 2018 when I was in the midst of really struggling with the job that I'd taken on in 2017. That job destroyed my confidence. It destroyed my ability to see the solution, and it eroded the very fabric of the man and dad I was trying to become. Toward the end of the year, I lost that job. But in the lead up to losing that job, we went away. We had some time out as a family. But here's the kicker. I wasn't able to decompress. My wife was concerned. We were both worried about the future. We were both aware that something was on the cards. You know, you get that gut feeling, that challenge that you know that you're going to have to face, that thing that somebody's setting you up for. We had a HR meeting. It was in the diary. The week before, I was on holiday. So what do you think we spoke about? We talked about the issue. We tried to identify the solutions. But the reality was, we were so distracted. From moments with our eldest son, we spent the whole week focusing on what to do next and how we could overcome this challenge together. And the problem with that situation is the pressure builds, the conflict internally builds. You are both angry, frustrated, disappointed, and your conflicted state means that you're not openly communicating. You're not really focusing on what you need to focus on, which is the simple things, which is making the memories. You are focused simply on finding a way out. So look, your style of communication, your openness between one another, that openness that you need to have as parents, it's important that you communicate in the right way, you communicate effectively, openly, honestly, but you do not prod the bear. You do not increase the level of pressure on you both. You do not turn that problem into a massive issue. Because if you do, you lose sight of what's important. You burn through your confidence and you begin to feel fatigued. And this approach can derail you both. It can derail the relationship, but importantly, it can stop you connecting. Simply work on your style, understand the objections to any challenge that you're facing, understand the issue at hand, focus more so on the solution, not the problem. And if you are prone to talking about it in detail and getting more and more stressed out about it, then you need to take a step back. You need to reflect and you need to understand the impact, whatever the decision is that you're talking about, is going to have on you and her and them. Your children are your motivation for change. But if you're stuck in a rut, like I was in 2018, you can lose sight of the beauty all around. You can lose sight of the things that are important and the things that bring you joy. And talking about the problem without focusing on the solution, without creating space to work on options, you only build up more pressure, more stress, more anxiety, and that can, like I said, derail your commitment to your journey. Like I said, it's important that you work on and focus on the solution together, because the longer the issue remains outstanding, the more problematic it can become. Whilst it's great to air those feelings of frustration and anger toward a situation, in some cases, like mine, you can make it worse. So be prepared to interrupt the cycle and challenge the negative thought process. As her partner, your role is to help her grow in confidence, but also to make sure that you remain confident, especially as she tackles finding the balance as a working mum. The objective is to give her the opportunity to feel heard and agree how you're going to approach an issue so that you collectively talk openly without judgment. Now, we're very much focused on her return to work. We're very much focused on maternity leave and the impact in this scenario. But the reality is, your communication style, that communication style that you've had your entire relationship, the moment you have children, it is under pressure. The moment that you're starting a conversation, you will be interrupted the moment they find their first words. They will have something more important to say. You will find yourself losing patience with it. And that's why you need to dedicate time and space to proper communication. That's not sitting in front of Netflix. That is sitting down, having a meal together if you can, or at least just dedicating some time during the week or even at the weekend where you can work through a problem, find the solution, and then make sure you understand the cost of not making a change, and you understand the benefit of the change if you're going to pursue it. Now let's talk about finding that delicate balance, that one that we are all searching for. You've got to understand that any strategy you adopt has got to work for you individually, but also you as a couple. Each person's circumstances are going to be unique, and what works for one may not work for another. My advice is be open to new ideas and be prepared to put in the work until you find something that works for both of you. A word of caution. A strategy might work for an extended period of time, and then without warning, that strategy can fail. And it's the failure that catches you off guard. So be prepared for the unexpected and adapt and learn as you go. As she navigates her return to work, you must collectively understand the needs of your children, her needs, your needs, the demands of your career, and the expectations of your partner's employer. By distinguishing each individually, you can focus on what truly matters. So here I've tried to pull together some practical strategies that can help you balance work, your relationship, the demands of your kids, the demands of your partner, your personal demands. Now look, the reality is we are all chasing that work-life balance. We're chasing that thing that enables us to decompress, and we're chasing that thing that gives us space to spend time, quality time, with our partner and with our kids. I'm going to be honest with you. You will chase it. It will drive you mad if you cannot nail it down. So here is my advice. Find some semblance of balance. It is not going to be perfect, and if you need to adjust quickly. The definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different outcome. You are going to have a heavy load to carry. I have a heavy load to carry, as does my partner. But there are times when we get that balance right. There are times when we create space for one another that enables us to decompress, but also enables us to make the most of the memories, make the most of the moment. But there are also times when we're just carrying too much. So you've got to find A, what works, and B, what isn't going to create conflict for you. So for example, if you've got a specific routine and you're inflexible in that routine, and you have to be on time to whatever it is, or you have to get to the gym and you have to have dinner at a certain time, the kids have got to be in bed at a certain time, that creates more friction than necessary. That is the challenge that we're facing. We want balance, but your job dictates that balance to a certain extent. But as the kids get older, they begin to dictate what that balance looks like. And in the end, you have a slither of time for yourself, you have a slither of time for your partner. And in most cases, you're absolutely shattered when it comes to those two slithers of time. So be careful. Do not overprescribe your routine. Do not be inflexible in your approach, and make sure that you're open in your communication style. You're clear on what your objectives are, what your expectations are of one another, so that you can help lighten the load of one another and create the space that you need, that's necessary to decompress, so that you can have the impact and influence that you want to have on your kids. Now, I've pulled together some practical strategies, like I said, that can help you balance work and family life. And it really kind of starts with effective time management. And it's essential that you're good with your time. Quality time with your children and your partner, as we know, is precious. But you've also got to consider your individual goals. By prioritising and maximising the available time with your kids, you get to create meaningful connections. But to successfully do so, you need to plan and, wherever possible, schedule dedicated family time and time for you both as individuals. Regardless of the pressure you both feel during this early phase, you need to acknowledge that the relentlessness can catch up with you and ultimately lead to you feeling disconnected from one another and from your kids. Setting boundaries becomes a crucial aspect. That's boundaries at home, at work, and in your relationship. And they allow you to be clear in your commitments to your family and at work. If you can learn to say no, then you can both create space for the things you enjoy, family time, and work commitments. As she embarks on her return to work, you need to encourage her to set clear expectations with her boss, clients, colleagues, family members, so that you both can avoid feeling obligated to sacrifice the things that matter. Because balancing all these things, you've got to understand what's important, what's going to influence your children's future, what's going to have the impact that you want to have, what's going to allow you to disconnect. And let's be frank, a lot of our time is invested in work, in the projects, whatever it is that you're working on. Whatever the time frame that you are working in that week, however many hours you're throwing in. But you still need to find time to balance a daily routine. Communication helps with this, but setting expectations. You've got to understand one another's commitments. That's work commitments. That's out of hours commitments. That is children's routine and their commitments. If you understand the schedule and you can carve out the right time or create the time that you can utilize to your advantage, both individually and as a partnership, then you will begin to have some semblance of balance. But you'll always be chasing it if you're not in control and you're not prepared to say no to the things that add no value. There will be things at the weekend that take up a lot of time. There will be things that you sacrifice because other people expect it of you. And that's why understanding the importance of saying no, setting boundaries, it enables you and your partner to be clear on your direction of travel, but importantly, it just gives you a little bit of space. And importantly, as your kids get older, it helps them navigate important decisions. If they see you turning down things that you do not think add value to them, to your partner, to you, then they will understand the importance of their time and they will understand how to maximize it. With your partner returning to work, you've got to adapt and be flexible. It's important to be clear on your individual responsibilities, and as a partner, you cannot overlook the need to collaborate in the early days. Make sacrifices and be more upfront with your employer about your family commitments. As fathers, we choose not to share too much about the demands of our home life and family responsibilities. Some of this is driven by workplace and societal expectations, but in some instances, we want to be seen to be keeping the two separate. The problem with this approach is that she may feel that you're not fully committed and not fully behind her return to work. So where possible, step up and step in and be clear with your employer that is critical to you both that you and your partner are working, which means that you will both be taking an active part in the family routine. Since we had children, I've always been clear with my employers that family comes first. At first, it can be an incredibly difficult conversation to have, and it will of course depend on your employer and relationship with your boss as to how much you choose to talk about. But these are the conversations that need to take place so that you can support your partner's return to work. As her partner, setting expectations with your employer promotes trust between you both and demonstrates that you have her best interests at heart. This will become more important as she starts to think about her future and whether or not you want to extend your family. Things like supporting her with the childcare routine can really help her out. Simply put, you've got to be involved, engaged, and you need to understand the success of the routine will come down to the division of responsibilities. Her successful return to work depends on the two of you working together, and in the early days, you stepping in where you can to ensure she's able to establish herself back at work. If she's balancing her career with motherhood, then you need to be that go-to contact point and ensure that she is not carrying the added weight of managing all the tasks that accompany parenthood. By stepping in, you allow her to feel less conflicted, which gives her the opportunity to concentrate on the adjustment and focus on rebuilding her brand and confidence, which will help her feel more valued by her employer. Her objective is to establish herself as an integral member of a team, and with your support, this is her opportunity to be selfish, reset, and reconnect with her personal goals. This is also a time where she will want to better understand what she wants from her career and from her role as mum. When my wife returned to work, she was still undecided on her chosen path, and she needed time to grow in confidence before she felt comfortable enough to make the choices which would result in more opportunities later down the line. All of these things will have an impact on the family dynamic, and your responsibility is now to support her through making these key decisions. In order to actively participate in the nursery run, you will need to reset expectations with your employer. This conversation is important because it addresses the balance required to be a supportive partner, but it also addresses the balance needed in the workplace and at home. So be prepared to support whatever the childcare routine looks like so that she can adjust to the demands of her career and motherhood. Knowing that you've got her back will help her feel more confident at work and ensure that she is not making sacrifices in her career just so that you can focus on your own. Ultimately, your adaptability and flexibility is going to be crucial, and it will also demonstrate your commitment to her as a working mother and a partner, and it will also prove your commitment to your kids. The great thing about being part of the childcare routine is that it creates little windows for you to bond and connect with them during those moments in the day. These opportunities to connect should never be overlooked because they are your chance to grow closer to them and have an impact on even just a small part of their day. It's these small windows where you get the opportunity to bond, and it's that moment that will create memories as they get older. I am incredibly blessed to work from home, and because I work from home, I can do the school run every day. For me, though, this is my chance to spend quality time with my boys. This is my time to spend with the boys in a way that I see fit. The conversations that we can now have become so important. And whilst in the early days of her return to work, you're supporting her practically, the benefit as they get older cannot be measured. If you set the expectation now, then you can prioritise these moments as they get older. This isn't just about the emotional and practical support. This is about carving out time for you and them. She will, of course, be grateful for your support during this period, but a part of her is going to be jealous as you make the most of the precious moments with your little ones. It's that precious time that you get to focus on what they need and ultimately helps you create space for her so that she can focus on what she needs. And it's that foot in the door that's important. It's that first week, month, where she's trying to re-establish herself in a business that has forgotten about her. Because remember that she has given up a year for you, for your children. She is sacrificing her career for the advancement of your family. But now is your time to step in, step up, and give her the support that she needs so that she can make the most of this return, so that she can demonstrate to her employer that she is more than just a number. She adds value, she contributes. Her confidence, my friend, is on the line. Your role is to ensure that she has the opportunity to flourish. Your chance to step up and step into her shoes, just doing things like the pick up, the drop off, gives you moments of pure joy. Yes, there's going to be chaos, absolute chaos, noise, frustration at times. But as the kids get older, you will have that chance to bond. You will have that chance to have a conversation, and you will give your children what they need, which is you, less distracted and more connected. Now let's talk about what she needs, because you need to understand what it is that she needs in the early days. As a partner, you need to be emotionally available, willing to listen, and be present in any given conversation. As she faces up to the realities of motherhood, she is going to experience a wide range of emotions, including feeling overwhelmed, guilty, conflicted, frustrated, stressed, anxious, and angry. You can provide reassurance and understanding by acknowledging and validating these emotions. And most important of all, letting her express them. Let her talk to you about her concerns, her challenges, and never disregard the importance of whatever it is she's trying to talk to you about. I've personally been guilty on the occasion of going right to the solution without even considering the rawness of the emotion associated with the subject at discussion. As a natural problem solver, I want to direct our collective attention to the solution, even though my partner just needs to be heard. Understanding and addressing her needs during this transitional phase helps you both create a supportive and harmonious environment. Her needs early on might be simple, but here are some simple steps to help you identify what it is she needs. It's okay to talk this stuff through. If you encourage an open and honest dialogue during her pregnancy and maternity, she is going to feel safe and, importantly, be able to communicate her feelings, concerns, and needs. At this time, your role, my friend, is to listen and help her find her feet. In the early days, you need to be aware of the mental strain on her and any emotional changes in her behaviour. Whilst these might only be small changes, it is worth keeping an eye on her, and should you have any concerns about the way that she's adjusting, it's crucial that you talk to her, engage her, and if necessary, do some research and seek support. At this time of great upheaval, you must be patient, and during any moments where emotions run high, you need to reassure her that her feelings are valid and acknowledged. The key here is to engage her in regular conversation about how she is feeling and asking her what support she needs from you. The more engaged you are through the pregnancy and through her maternity, the better your understanding of the challenges ahead and the milestones that she's going to encounter. And this means that you can anticipate and respond to your partner's needs more effectively. It is important that you adopt a flexible approach and adapt to the ongoing changes. It doesn't matter how prepared you feel, there is always going to be something that catches you off guard, and you've got to be ready for that. Remember, every returning mum will experience different things, so it's essential to approach these suggestions with a mindset of continuous communication, curiosity, flexibility, and a genuine desire to support and understand her needs. One of the things that goes out of the window as you become parents is that quality time that you have together. And as she transitions back to work, that quality time gets further and further away. You have to be aware of that. You have to understand the pressure that she's feeling, the pressure that she will want to overcome, but also you need to understand that she's going to feel conflicted. She's going to feel disconnected from her children. And I'm afraid her priority in those moments isn't you, it's them. That rawness of emotion between mum and baby or mum and toddler is something that you cannot get in the way of. But putting your ego to one side and focusing on making time for quality time together means that you have the chance to communicate better. You have the chance to ask the questions that are necessary to help her get over or get through the challenges that she's facing. But also, you get that moment where you just connect and you can disconnect from fatherhood, motherhood, and become adults. And it's funny because we as parents, we get so distracted by the world that they live in that we often forget that we came first. Our relationship came first. And it's our relationship and the strength of the relationship that we're in that is the foundation for a successful family. But of course, if we ignore that, the challenge that we face is we are trying to get it back. We are putting pressure on ourselves. We are building up for moments. We're saying, yes, we'll do it next week, we'll do it next month. We're putting things in the diary and then we're failing to commit to them. And those moments where we need to bond, where we need to communicate, those are the moments that we lose because something will interrupt you, something will stop you. And it's typically somebody about 2.5 to 3 feet high with an opinion, with something that they want to talk to you about. So be prepared to carve out time to bond. Do not sacrifice your relationship because you believe that sacrificing everything will further the life of your children. Be sure that there is time for you both. Time to connect, time to talk. Like I said, quality time is going to be something you lose sight of quickly, and it will become a distant memory once she returns to work, especially if you do not keep track of the time you're spending together. Your objective as a partner and as a couple and as a father is to maximize the impact that you can have on your partner's well-being, your relationship with her, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your kids. My wife and I both work late into the evenings, which is down to the fact of good flexibility with work. However, it does mean that the time we spend together is very limited. We have to work at making the time to spend together. And the key to making the most of that time is removing the distractions. And that can include TV, social media, our phones. Ultimately, it's about setting time aside where you can engage with one another, connect, and prioritize your relationship. As you start on your parenting journey, there are so many hurdles to maintaining a healthy relationship. But as she returns to work, it can be even more difficult to find a moment to sit down, talk things through, and even get intimate. The fact is, you're choosing as a couple to ignore the importance of the relationship that existed before you had children. And that decision to prioritize other things is where the true damage is done. You've got to set aside the time for one another and set aside time for yourselves. You are individuals, a partnership. She is a mother and you are a father. And now she's returned to work. You're both employed. There is so much to do and so many conflicting priorities that the first thing to go is self-care, quickly followed by the care you have for your relationship. How you reflect on what is important during this transitional phase and how you communicate what is important will either bring you together or push you apart. It's controversial, but the people who existed before baby was born still exist. They've just become less important. They put less value on who they are. As parents, we're expected to be selfless, but that means we sacrifice everything that's important to us as a couple and as individuals. Not only is that selfless approach exhausting, but it stops you from focusing on the needs of one another and the needs of your relationship. The problem is that your kids don't see the best version of you because you're always burnt out and you're always trying and searching for balance at work and at home. This period of transition requires flexibility, understanding, and a willingness to communicate. As the dynamic of the relationship shifts, you will need to make concessions and accept that at times your relationship just won't be high up on your list of priorities. However, You've got to be open and honest with one another so as not to lose sight of the connection that you shared. If time together is difficult to pin down, then you need to schedule it and you must work it into your routine. It could be as simple as a meal out or a meal at home, or even just dedicating one evening a week to spending time together. Remember, you owe it to yourselves to invest in your relationship and protect it at all costs. So make time to prioritize strengthening your bond as a couple. My biggest advice is to ensure that you are both making time for your individual needs. If you're focused on making time for yourself and encouraging her to do the same, then your relationship should benefit and the bond between you should grow stronger. In conclusion, effective communication serves as a cornerstone for navigating the challenges associated with your partner's return to work and the intricate balance of parenthood. A successful partnership hinges on transparent and open communication, not only to reinforce your relationship, but to establish a strong foundation for the journey into parenthood. Prior to her return to work, laying the groundwork with effective communication enables both of you to articulate your expectations, share concerns, and understand the challenges ahead. Setting boundaries and expectations, actively listening to each other's concerns, and addressing conflicting views are essential components of the communication process. As you collectively strive to find the delicate balance between work and family life, the importance of adapting and being flexible cannot be overstated. Practical strategies such as effective time management, setting boundaries, and balancing daily routines are crucial in creating harmonious family dynamics. Identifying the unique needs of each family member, understanding the demands of your careers, and aligning individual and collective goals contribute to a more cohesive approach. Supporting her in the childcare routine, actively participating in family life, and being emotionally available are vital aspects of your role as a partner. Supporting and addressing her emotional needs during this difficult phase helps create a supportive and harmonious family environment. Let's face it, quality time together is precious, and it often takes a backseat amidst the demands of parenthood and work. So scheduling dedicated time to one another, removing distractions, and prioritizing your relationship can contribute to the strengthening of your bond. It's crucial to acknowledge the importance of self-care, both individually and as a couple. You've got to foster a healthy and resilient relationship because that's what your children need to see. In essence, effective communication, adaptability, and a shared commitment to each other's well-being are the keys to successfully navigating the challenges of her return to work. By approaching this transformative period with empathy, understanding, and a willingness to communicate, you lay the foundation for a fulfilling and supportive partnership that will weather the complexities of parenthood and her career responsibilities. Thank you for listening. This has been Fatherhood in Focus. I appreciate the effort that you expend on a daily basis. Remember, the Modern Fatherhood Club is here to support you. We have your back. We are here to give you the resources and support that you need to add the real value at home, to contribute to the future of your children, of your partner, and importantly, we are here to give you the confidence to grow and inspire those you love the most. Fatherhood is a challenge. It is our greatest opportunity to become our true selves. Give it your best shot. Continue to listen to this podcast. There is so much more on the horizon, and over the next couple of weeks, we have the release of our ebooks, we have the release of our course, the New Dad Recharge, our Purpose Workshop, and we also have the ebook very much focused on parental burnout and how to stay on track. Do not underestimate the impact that you have. You are a powerful and inspirational father. You can create an incredible legacy for your children. It requires persistence, resilience, preparation, good, strong communication, and great foundations in your relationship. We have your back. We are here to support you. Thank you again for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.